Before this video starts off, I just want to let you guys know that there are timestamps down below in the description, so if you're here for a specific thing, which probably a lot of you guys are here for a specific thing, then you can find where I talk about that down below in the description, and you can click and it'll automatically take you to where we start talking about that. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, guys, well, that's that. So, thank you guys for watching the Joe Rogan Experience, and we'll see y'all in the next podcast. Goodbye. Anyway, so the stuff has happened.
Stuff's happened.
A lot of things are
but you
going
need to
down.
intro us first,
Yes.
bro.
So, Dad, remember back in summer of 2019, I think. Summer 2019. Really bad for Brawl Stars.
Before COVID hit.
Oh, my lotion.
Before COVID hit.
I just realized my lotion broke. Anyway, so COVID didn't hit. There's no such thing as COVID-19, at least in the summer. And it all was good, unless you were playing Brawl Stars. Supercell decided, hey, because we're leaving forever, we should give some gadget, or we should give some star powers.
At least for the summer.
At least for the summer. But we should release some star powers.
Yeah.
And then you want to know what happened? Chaos happened. And
Chaos.
the game
You
was
know
not
what?
fun.
Think about it though. Summer robots came out.
Mhm.
COVID hit.
Mhm.
I see a little bit of a.
I don't see anything you're talking about.
Okay,
Anyway, so it was bad. So that happened. And typically, that's what happened. That's what people were expecting this summer to be. We were expecting Supercell to just be like, okay, goodbye, here's some gadgets, then we're leaving. We thought they were just going to release the update with the Brawl Pass, whatever, and just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were wrong. They actually did a lot of stuff, and in this podcast, we're going to be talking about. So anyways, guys, also forgot to mention, this is the 5th episode of the podcast, so yay.
Yay.
We're not a one-off thing, and we're actually continuing this, I guess. So yeah, I mean, you're not an official podcast unless you have 10 episodes. That's my
So
rule.
we got 5 more to go.
So we have 5 more to go. So guys, without further ado, let's address this update.
Okay.
Alright, so guys, first off, I'm just pulling up on the monitor what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about the update, okay? And, we're not on the correct page. So now we are. Okay, guys, so, update. What is the name, Dad? Summer of Monsters. That's
Summer
the
of
name.
Monsters.
Just like how last summer update, we had the Summer of Robots. This is the Summer of Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sounds like a trend.
let's talk about the robot man who was released. And who was that?
Mechagodzilla.
No, it was Surge. Dad, that's that you're thinking of the boss of the game mode, Robo Rampage or whatever.
No, I'm actually thinking of Mechagodzilla.
No,
'Cause
Supercell
that's a
did
joke
it
that we
first,
made about.
Dad.
That's a joke
I'm
we
pretty
made.
sure Supercell made the idea of a big monster destroying the city, Dad. I'm pretty sure that's a unique idea, and no one does movies or any franchise about it at all. It's Supercell's idea.
And
So
what you're saying then is that we didn't predict it like 3 podcasts ago. Okay.
So, what's the robot again? Or what's the brawler?
The brawler is what the hell was his name again?
I have the screen up for a reason. Surge!
Oh,
Dad,
that's
where are
right.
your freaking glasses?
Sergio.
Surge. Or if we're talking about Welsh, Watson.
Yeah, Watson.
Or if we're talking about another language I forgot, Energetic.
Yeah.
Those are his names
I
in
think
other
Watson
languages.
is better.
I think Watson would have been a better name.
But
Anyway,
his name is Surge in the States.
Because the States is the only place that speaks English. So we got Surge. Surge is the newest chromatic brawler coming to Brawl Stars. He's.
Is that a joke?
Why would that be a joke?
I don't know.
No, he is a chromatic brawler.
So anyways, go ahead.
So Surge is the newest chromatic brawler, the second chromatic brawler in the game. And I have at least a gripe with this choice of a brawler.
Okay.
Typically, when Supercell has been on a good track recently of releasing multiple brawlers in one update.
Mm-hmm.
They started with Max and B, and then they kind of continued that pattern. I think one time they didn't. Well, 2 times now with Surge. And yeah, overall, so it was a little shock, and it was like, oh, I guess you don't really care about your community, Supercell, when they released only Surge. Which, I mean, hey, I'm fine. If it's a one-off thing, and we're getting 2 brawlers every update, and every now and then we get 1 brawler, I'm fine with that. Again, it's Supercell's decisions. They clearly know what they're doing. So, we shouldn't really get mad that they only released one. But that's not what I'm mad about. What I'm mad about is the fact that they released a robot in the summer of monsters.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense because with all this, I guess you can say the media that you see for Brawl Stars, the different things that, you know, people are anticipating, and you see all these updates, and they're looking at bringing out all these heroes and all these monsters, and all, just a wild type of thing that they're at some point you and I were talking about, and what they were bringing up, and you see pictures of like, you know, what was it? It was a contest, right? That they had said, look, we want to do the summer of whatever, or we want to do superheroes and monsters, or whatever it was that they're talking about. And Summer of Monsters, you can go way far with Summer of Monsters. I mean, you could have gone and changed people like just make, or maybe you feature somebody who's been forgotten for a long time, Frank. Yeah. Frank is a monster. Why don't you feature Frank in this update and make him? One thing
that was dumb though is that I guess Supercell just forgot about animations because it was the Summer of Monsters. Everyone assumed we were getting a monster for the Brawler.
Yeah,
people assumed that because in the Brawloween animation, the Mortises died, where I got that clip of him about to kill Mortis.
Yeah,
there was a little Easter egg in this animation. This guy, and I'll put it up on screen now, and Dad is looking at it right now. This guy. We assumed he is going to be the newest Brawler for the Summer of Monsters.
To me, he kind of, he looks like one of those, like, creature from the Black Lagoon type.
Yeah, and the thing that was weird is because if you remember I think we did a podcast about this. If not, then, but I think I remember talking to Dad about, reviewing the newspaper. Remember the newspaper that happened? Yeah. There's the newspaper that they released that was hinting towards the Summer of Monsters.
We did talk about
and they were talking about how like the waters was being contaminated and something came out of the ocean. People assumed, oh, if it's the Summer of Monsters, we're getting this little dude right here. Well,
which makes sense because if you look at the animation, I mean, you can see there's like a green toxic sludge in there. And then you see this creature that's hanging out underneath the boards,
just chilling,
which probably is a pier.
Yeah,
looks like to me.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna get this new creature. It's gonna come out, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be wild. We're gonna have, you know, just a whole other dimension to this game.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they were like, you went to robot, and then they gave us a robot. But like I was saying, I wouldn't have gotten upset if they titled this update and labeled and marketed this update as like something else, something that would relate to Gale. Summer of Heroes, that would have been better.
Especially with all that, like we said a minute ago. I mean, especially with all the
like the arch-villains and all the Max
like we talked
related
about, they had a contest. People were drawing all these wicked little things, and you know what? I mean, if you're getting people excited about this stuff, let's face it, when you look at stuff like Marvel and you look at stuff like DC Comics, this was the year that they could have brought it out, and it could have been massive.
Yeah.
Because it's just finishing up. You just finished Avengers Endgame. You just are looking at all this stuff with like X-Men and finishing off that, and then they're starting to bring out even more stuff. DC's trying to bring, I think it was Wonder Woman 84 or something like that. So this would have been a much better year, I guess, that they could have put out
superheroes.
Yeah, because next year is supposed to be Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah,
that would have been perfect for the Summer of Monsters.
Yeah,
and it's not that they have to follow whatever everything else is trending.
Supercell is not the type of company to follow trends. Like if you remember the Brawler Day update, they did pirate theme instead of doing Christmas.
So it makes no sense.
It doesn't. But Supercell is not like one for following trends. But the thing with this is that you should have just more honest. Okay, let me just quickly.
Then it almost makes sense.
Let me quickly say
they're also not one that follows their own theme.
Well, let me say something.
That makes no sense.
Well, there's no theme to Brawl Stars, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, well, first, I don't criticize Brawl Stars if they haven't done anything that isn't criticizable.
No,
that's a word there.
Critical. Yeah.
But like, cause like for example, if I do, I make fun of it like in a mocking way, like I'm like mocking the community and how they complain to Supercell, you know, give me free stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't
make
really
it easier to get through whatever trophy road or whatever garbage.
I don't really bring up points that I think are that are unfair to Supercell. But with this, I actually think that they kind of did an oopsie, you know? They should have marketed this as something else, like a Summer of Heroes or Summer of something like that.
Or if they wanted to introduce a new robot, Summer of Robots 2.
Revamped. Summer of
Robots. And then
like
go through and revamp all their robots, make some kind of like this wicked team of robot thing.
Yeah.
And then just give something give something that actually kind of makes sense.
Because if you think about it, because with the Summer of Robots, they released Tick, a robot brawler. Yeah. With this, Summer of Monsters, they released monster skins, but a robot brawler. And that robot isn't even like a half monster, half robot, which is the mecha robot that we find in that newest boss game. So Surge doesn't really make sense to me, especially because Mecha Paladin Surge is even more of a robot. That's not even like... It could have passed if what they released... Because with Tara's Bazaar, when they released Gale, they had a Merchant Gale, which correlated with the Tara's Bazaar. Yeah. But this Brawl Pass is also marketed as a Summer of Monsters Brawl Pass, but the end skin that you get is another robot variant.
It's an even more robotic robot.
And it doesn't make sense with... Surge doesn't make sense with the Brawl Pass, nor does his... Mecha Paladin skin doesn't also relate to the Brawl Pass name. So it's just everything with Surge doesn't make sense. Just how it was kind of like the same debacle where Nani should have been the chromatic brawler. But this is like a whole different like situation though. Like I think Supercell really goofed. Like this could have been the second brawler. This could have been a non-chromatic brawler this could have been. Actually, it could have stayed as a chromatic brawler, but they could have also released the little creature of the Blue Lagoon looking monster that we were talking about previously.
And then his nemesis is...
that guy.
Surge.
Yeah.
You know, his ultimate nemesis, you have to fight him. And then, so they have a history of as you like to put it, they have a history of buffing out their
Sorry
new
about
characters.
The plane coming through. Let's talk over it.
So they have a history, right, of buffing out these new... brawlers that they bring in, these things that are indestructible. I mean, the minute Rita, was that her name? Rosa.
Yeah.
The minute Rosa came in, she destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers that.
Every brawler that comes is overpowered.
They're just overpowered. And what would have been great is to have a monster come in, however they award it to you, Brawl Pass or whatever, and then you get it and this thing is indestructible. Mm-hmm. The thing is just hardcore indestructible, like Frank indestructible when he first started, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in order to be able to beat him, instead of just, reducing his power, his strength, or nerfing, or whatever you call it, instead of doing that, you introduce this new monster.
Yeah.
I mean, you introduce Surge, so you have this monster that's wicked, like the creature that you're looking at on the screen.
Yeah.
And you have this guy who's unstoppable, and all of a sudden his nemesis comes in, and it's Surge.
Or
the only way Surge can stop him is if he gets to like a level 3 power, and he has to go in and finish
something like that.
It would have been fun because then it makes a story.
And it also kind of sucks too is that the game that the monster it's themed around, like the whole update's themed around the monster in the game. That game mode isn't even fun. It's kind of just like boss fight, and occasionally the boss just doesn't care about you and does destroy the towers.
It reminds me of like a really bad 8-bit Mario game.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, it's not to say Mario's boring. Yeah. Right?
Nor to say this game is like Brawl Stars itself is boring.
No, but it's like, okay, so basically they just give you a small map, and then they throw Mario in there, and he literally has to just fight Koopa King or whoever it is he fights.
Bowser, yeah.
Whatever, anybody. So it's kind of like, okay.
It's boring and repetitive and
if you win, cool. If you don't,
then try again.
You just do it again. So it's like it's iffy. It's funny how they hit and miss.
Yeah.
They do great on some stuff.
Like Cot Zone and Brawl. And Present Plunder. Those two games are.
Oh yeah, they do awesome in some stuff, and some stuff it's like. Man, Strike 3,
Lone Star Takedown, those two are so boring.
It's weird how that happens. It's like there's one guy that's just terrible at his job.
And every now and then he strikes
crap, right? I mean, I don't know.
No, we're not. We're not making fun. We're kind of just saying this because, like, I guess we're joking.
And the side joke to this whole thing is they're making buku bucks. We're not.
Yeah,
we're just idiots who are sitting here talking about it.
But like a thing that could have been even better, like again, another idea to have made this boss battle fun. Add in more bosses that you fight. Add in more monsters, you know?
Well, you have 3 monsters. You fight 1 monster, then you fight a second monster, then the next battle you fight 2 monsters.
Or every single game it's just a random monster.
And then if you're that great, you end up fighting all the monsters.
Or another thing you could have done was that
But why did they make the city so small? To me, it's like it's literally like you're playing on a Lego game. I mean, a Lego
freaking planes going
Sorry
over.
about the planes, Joe. It's funny how
Alaska
the planes
always
don't
has
come.
planes
Yeah,
all
they
over the place.
They don't come anywhere near our house until literally we're doing a
recording.
podcast.
But like that was just some ideas about how they could have made that better. Like honestly, I think they really made a stupid mistake labeling this update as the Summer of Monsters when there were only a couple monsters. So yeah, that was that. And then the new Super City.
The environment we're talking about is Super City.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't find that to be. I kind of like it, you know. It's kind of fun having a lot of because to think about it, it's basically like the big monster and then us also big, and we're having like a battle in the city and destroying the city. And
wait a minute,
which is kind of funny.
What you're saying is almost like a Godzilla thing.
Yeah, it's a Godzilla thing.
Like what we talked about. When
like
we
a
said
Godzilla.
Summer of Monsters should be that, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude,
but
okay, you need to check to see if any of the people that follow you on your page, if any of them work for freaking Supercell.
I doubt that.
Because somebody is
scoping
this out because they keep stealing our ideas.
Yeah.
Just to say.
Yeah. So that was that. So that was some of the update. We're gonna talk about another thing. The skins. I guess I like the skins that came.
Some of the new skins are very.
Even though I said the update shouldn't have been focused around it, the skins that they released were cool. So example, we got Super Ranger Brock, which is a free skin that you get. Free after buying the Brawl Pass.
And that's the superhero, obviously.
Yeah, and
so that introduces a superhero.
Yeah.
Which then they could have probably called it superhero.
Another thing that they could have done with that.
Superheroes.
One thing that they could have done with that for that Super Ranger Brock, again, planes. They could have made different color variations buyable through star points. So if you paid 15,000 star points, you could have bought a green. You could have bought a green Super Ranger Brock, or a yellow Super Ranger Brock, or a black,
almost like
red.
like the Power Rangers. Yeah.
That would have been cool to have.
What about a pink one?
But unfortunately, they don't think things through.
No,
I'm joking.
They don't think things through.
And then Mecha Paladin Surge, removing the context and why it was there. A standalone skin, it's a nice skin. Mecha Paladin Scourge, I haven't got it yet because I've been focused on other stuff, and Brawl Stars is really on the back burner. Yes, Brawl Stars is kind of on the back burner for now, but I've still played it, and I'm so close to getting it.
Yeah, I mean, but see, to me, it kind of feels like, okay, you introduce a character, and then you automatically bring them a skin. To me, it's almost like you didn't. It's almost like, okay, I forget his original skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
So it's almost
and
like
also, forget about Rosa. Like, Rosa still doesn't have a skin, and she's been out for a year now. So, unfortunately, Rosa doesn't have a skin.
I mean, how do you take a botanist to make her
honestly anything
different?
You could make her. She would have been perfect for the Summer of Monsters. She could have had like a monster engulf her, and she could have been like, or they could have made the piranha plant on the back even more piranha-y, 3 heads instead of 1, and then bigger leaves and claws and all
a variation of plants, because we all know that there are plants out there that are
crazy.
Deadly. I mean, the Venus flytraps.
So good, but they missed out, unfortunately. And I don't criticize Supercell often, but when I do, it's for valid reasons. This update could have been so better.
Out here in Alaska, there's this stuff called Devil's Claw. When you go hiking, and they have these huge, massive leaves.
Yeah.
But underneath them, they have
thorns.
They're barbed. The entire plant is barbed. So when you rub up on it by accident,
you die.
Itches. It itches so bad.
Yeah. It sucks. This update could have been so good, but unfortunately, I think with the time restraint that they had, where they have to take a break, that really kind of messed them up,
and I think
that took away from what the update could have been.
And I think that they were probably all working from home.
COVID did mess up
stuff. The world did, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't explain last summer.
Yeah,
because obviously last summer they were working in their studios.
Last summer, even though it was a mistake, they did come out with a lot of good stuff. But this one, I think they missed out on opportunities. While in the last summer, they made everything, but they made everything so good that they ended up negatively affecting the game with the unbalanced star powers and Tick being so annoying.
Yeah.
So I think they
dropped so much on you that it was almost like
I think
a
Supercell
smorgasbord.
I think
it was
there's
like
like
eating
a curse.
it was like eating at a buffet.
Yeah.
And pounding everything down in 20 minutes and then dying later.
Mark my words. I think every summer update, which is supposed to be the update where it's like cool or whatever, I think every summer update is going to either be too good or too bad. You know, I think it's going to be either over the top and it's really, and because it's over the top, it negatively affects the game, and it's going to miss out on a lot of opportunities, which again will negatively affect the game. So I think overall summer is going to be a rough time for Brawl Stars, and then on the other months and the other seasons, that's when the game bounces back.
Especially since I'm sure that they probably don't listen to people when they're on vacation.
Yeah, that's
They probably
true.
are like, I'm on
They
vacation.
can't really, you know. So that was that skin. Mecha Paladin Surge is good.
Yeah.
The True Skins, which is also good for a free-to-play player, but unless they have coins spent over or left over, they're basically the true variation. So the silver skins and the gold skins. Personally, people are talking about how they don't prefer it. Honestly, I think once they make more true skins, then it will be worth it. So because you don't have to buy the skins you don't want, and you can buy the actual skins that you do want for other brawlers. Like I think a true silver Tick would look cool or something like that. But
I don't know. To me,
I think they definitely.
I thought that. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that the silver and gold skins to me have absolutely zero reason why they're there. It's
they're only there as a gold sink. That's literally what it's worth.
It doesn't. It's dumb.
Yeah, and it costs to get them all. I think it's somewhere around $7,000 to collect them all.
But
if you wanted to pay for the gold.
But if you're, let's say, you're one of the silver ones that you're fighting somebody. To me, that's almost a draw to go after that person.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like that person's the gold guy. I'm going after the gold guy, and I've noticed when I've fought in some of these battles, I've noticed that the silver and the gold guys always get jumped first. They always get hit first.
It's kind of like oh, gold,
it's almost
pretty,
like
shiny.
Literally, exactly that.
Yeah.
So there's the draw. To
I think they. I don't. Again, like I'm criticizing them, and I feel bad because Supercell overall is a great company. They really know how to make this game good. I mean, they know how to make a game good, of course, because they had 10 years of making games. You know,
making them.
So I think, with me, I think they should have had skins that you can buy with gold. But I think they should not have been gold sinks like they are.
No.
I think they should have been normal skins, but that you can pay for gold. But
or some of the throwback skins that they haven't brought out.
Yeah.
They brought it out once.
Like
if you got it, great. If you didn't,
Supercell Make skins should be worth gold.
Yeah.
Supercell Make skins. That would be a good idea because it's community members making skins that are available for people who don't want to buy gems.
And if you're the guy who made that one, you're gonna pay money to get that.
Well,
one
people
skin.
who make the skins, they get paid by Supercell, and sometimes they get a percentage of the sales.
Oh, okay.
So they're making money. Freaking Goku or whatever.
No wonder they don't contact us.
What is that guy's name? What is that guy who made Bo? Horus Bo? Stupid Yeti Core? I hate him. Anyway, let's continue.
I don't know who he is.
Mega Beetle B, King Crab Tick, and Street Mirror Max. Let's first talk about Mega Beetle B. So that one is okay. I think it would have looked cooler if it wasn't a stitched brawler, because if you look at it, it's a costume. It's not an actual monster, which unfortunately sucks because I would have loved to see Mega Beetle B as an actual beetle.
Monster.
Yeah. And then King Crab Tick is the only one that is actually a monster. And I think they did a good job with King Crab Tick.
But he's still a...
That's the only skin from this other than the eventually Mecha Paladin and the Super Ranger Brock. That's the only Summer of Monster skin I bought because it looks honestly, I'm a fan for the weird looking skins. Yeah. Like the Soccer Darrow, that one's a funny looking one, and I bought it.
It's so horrible.
So I have positive opinions about King Crab Tick.
MILF Barley.
MILF Barley, that one too. So Super City Rampage, we already gave our thoughts.
We already talked about it.
It's lackluster and
I'm going to tell you, this is exactly how I feel, okay? Do you remember, and I'm looking at this pad and it reminds me of it. You remember, the Legos and stuff that we got you, and you had those little plates
and made a city,
and then you would make a city out of it. That's exactly what I felt.
But this is what people are thinking. Remember the carnival theme that Supercell was thinking of? No. This could be like the little kids play or the Legoland equivalent of Brawl Stars.
Then why make it so hard to defeat it?
No, well, that's not what. Wait, what?
We're talking about.
No, we're talking about Super City. We're talking about the. Well, we're right now. We're talking about the the environment, which we probably should have talked about later. We're no longer we already gave our opinions on the game itself. It sucks. Game mode, I mean. But we're talking about the environment. I think the environment is clever and cool, and it's nice looking at all the Easter eggs that they have, because they have another beeper, which is signaling WKBRL, which is now. I have a theory, which we'll get into in a sec, about WKBRL. So I'll just remind me, Dad, to talk about WKBRL.
If I remember.
So that was that. Hot Zone is officially back in the game, and it's staying forever, which I like because Hot Zone is actually really fun. It's fun. Just I don't really have the time to play it.
Hot Zone reminds me of Brawl Stars in the fact that it's non-stop.
Yeah, it's just a constant
just
fight.
Constantly moving, constantly fighting.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter what this bot that they send after you does, because in this game there's no bots. You're going after everybody else.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of how you're doing the entire game. But to me, it's basically capture the flag, and
capture the objective, not capture the flag.
But it's capture the flag, basically.
No, capture the flag was present plunder. That was capture the flag.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I take that back. You're right.
Yeah.
But this is basically, and like I play, Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah.
They have the same type of game.
And it's fun.
And you sit there and you just blasting people, and if you get shot, you have to, you come in and you have to go and you have to retake your. I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to play. It reminds me of a lot of other games that have already done it.
Personally,
and every time I've played it, it's been fun.
I like seeing. Okay, look, so a little side rant. I like seeing games how they take a broad idea for a game and spin it into how they would work that game. With Call of Duty, they take it and they Prison Plunder was. Brawl Stars version of Capture the Flag, and then Call of Duty has Capture the Flag, and I like just seeing how different games take that concept and make it into something that relates to them. Yeah. And that's why I really like Hot Zone.
That's why it's fun. Yeah. Hot Zone is fun.
So another negative in my opinion that came with this update were the pins. So the pin packs, and I'll be honest, I haven't bought them. Probably the majority of the community hasn't bought them. My dad hasn't. Have you bought a pin pack?
No.
The little pack?
No.
I think they're 50 gems, and they suck, because it sucks.
But what are you supposed to do with those, though?
Oh, pins are basically they're like the in Clash Royale how when you're playing, and then you could do the little emotes on the left side and like taunt. It's basically that was the idea.
That's stupid.
But they overpriced it way too much for 3 packs, for 3 gems, or for 3 emotes that you'll get. And it's 50 gems to buy a pack of 3. It doesn't make sense.
But my question is, how does it affect gameplay?
It's not really. It's only to like taunt or to like, for example, my recent video.
It makes no sense. Why even bother to waste
my recent video. Remember?
You throw them in there for 1 gem. I'm still not buying it because it doesn't affect the game.
Listen, remember the last video I posted, when the Shelly spares her life?
Yeah.
That's pretty much. And remember when we used both of the emotes? That's pretty much what you would use them for. Either for taunting or for stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't affect the game. All you do is basically you're just pissing off the guy.
And honestly, I'm fine using the free versions.
Wow.
There's no negative.
But I don't use them.
There's no negative to use the free versions. Just the normal smiley face.
But there's no positive to use them at all.
I think
you're literally doing nothing. It's basically okay. You remember, right? Everybody talking about when someone taunts you, they taunt you when they spin.
By spinning.
Okay. Whatever. This is just another reason to not spin or whatever. To me, it's like.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the game in any way. It doesn't help you in any way. It only allows you to be a jerk.
Yeah, and I don't know.
And guess what? We have enough of that.
If they if they either made it worth star points or if they made it a tier that you would get from the Brawl Pass, I think if they included some pins with the Brawl Pass, that would make it worth.
What are those points though? The
star points.
The star point.
The elixir ones.
Still have not figured out what those are for, other than to get skins at a really expensive price.
Yes. Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of like that's another thing there that makes. That I just will never use.
Yeah.
And if I do one day, all of a sudden they have something for 2,000 points, and I got 2,000. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah.
It has no meaning to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna save it for later. I don't need these for anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why the hell would I? Why do I want stupid little? I mean, it's like basically going into a store, you see a sticker pack, and it's for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna go buy a sticker pack for $50. No.
And only get 3 of them.
And get 3 of them. I mean, it's just that's all it is. It's stupid.
It's dumb.
In my opinion.
But then another positive, there's like positive and negatives with this update. One positive that I actually really enjoyed was the Crow remodel and the remodel of White Crow. they finally, for the first time ever, made White Crow an actual skin that's worth buying.
And it looked cool. Yeah.
And Dad they didn't change the price of the skin, but Dad made the dumb decision of buying it before they made it look cool. But now I guess the decision is no longer dumb because White Crow now looks super cool.
I won the White Crow.
No,
I didn't buy it.
Yes, there's no way to win skins, Dad. You bought it. You had to have.
No, I got it in a box.
No, you can't do that.
I don't remember.
You can't get skins from boxes.
I did buy it. Maybe I did.
Yeah, I think you told me. I was playing the game one time, and you was like, "Hey, Chris," and I was like, "Yeah, I brought White Crow," and I was like,
Okay.
"Why?"
That's exactly how it sounded.
Yeah, you said it like that.
Just like I got what's his name? What's the other one? The yellow one?
Oh, you got Yellow Crow? Oh, you got the Phoenix Crow.
Phoenix Crow.
The Phoenician.
I have all three of them.
Yeah. Well, there's like 6.
I know. I don't have any of the mechas.
Yeah.
But I have Phoenix Crow, which is my favorite. White Crow is cool.
And normal Crow.
And then the Black Crow to me
And even normal
is still
Crow
one of the
cool.
coolest looking ones. It's
But
still one of the coolest.
I think that is the best. Actually, I was gonna say that's the best base model, but I think if I'm talking about brawlers based off of how they look originally with their normal skins, I'd have to say, and I know I just dogged on him, but I think Surge looks really cool. Surge, minus the context of the update where he came from, Surge looks really cool for a robot brawler that looks like that, and how he progressively evolves over time and looks different. Like eventually he gets a lightsaber and then wings and then stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think overall Surge looks the best. So that was that, and then the 10 gadgets. We don't really have to talk about them. There's not really any that makes sense. One that's cool is Asteroid Belt. El Primo gets to summon asteroid, one of the asteroids, anywhere he wants. So that's gonna be scary. We got then.
I think the tripwire one is cool though.
The tripwire where Bo gets to trigger them.
I see. I'm kind of a Bo fanatic.
Yeah.
I really like his skin that he got. What's the one? The home. Not what is his name? What's the skin that Bo has now?
Horus.
Horus Bo. I think that's
Yeti.
I love. Yeah, I like it.
Dad likes it.
I think
it's funny.
Well, I think it's cool because it's cool. I don't think it's cool because of whoever that guy is. Point is, I really enjoy using Bo.
Clay Pigeon
I can
though.
shoot him
Clay
really
Pigeon
well.
sounds overpowered though.
Okay, I can't do anything with what's her name? Not Penny, the other one. Piper. I can't shoot her for squat.
Well, her newest gadget should help ish.
Hold on.
Her newest gadget allows it to be homed in.
I suck using her.
Yeah.
Right? Jessie I'm okay with, but only because she has a much wider, striking range.
Yeah,
it's much
thicker shot.
I
think Clay Pigeons does make sense for Shelly, where her attack gets tighter. So it does the same amount of damage how it would do, but it's for the same range, but it's in a shorter distance. So at higher distance or at longer distances, she still does a lot of damage, which I think is very smart, and another reason why Shelly is super overpowered, which is funny that they haven't nerfed her. But I think Shelly, where she is, she's overpowered, but not in a way where you can't really deal with her. She's overpowered, but it's easy to kill a Shelly. I've killed Shellys many times with dynamite, stuff like that. It's not hard, but she's still overpowered in the fact that she's good.
If you allow her to get close to you, you're practically dead.
You're dead unless you either have like a Dyna jump or a jump of any sort. You're dead, son. So that's that. Those are the gadgets. I don't really see any here that are worth talking about.
But anyways, he shoots his 3 arrows, and you're talking about. I mean, it's fairly effective if you line them up right.
Yeah. So now we'll talk about the big situation that we're talking about with the things that are happening recently.
Okay.
And I guess we can call it Project Laser, even though it has multiple names. So Project Laser, what happens, Dad? Let's do a live demonstration.
So if you go into the game.
Wait, hold up. Let me do this live right now. I'm not gonna record it. I'll record it later on in the video. But so Dad, let's do this. So you go
into the game and, and you have 8-bit, and Chris has Virus
8-bit,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
But anyways,
best game in the game.
So 8-bit goes through his graphics, and then all of a sudden he has this blue screen, right? So we all know the blue screen of death on your computer.
Yeah.
So if you go and you start tapping on the blue screen exactly 8 times, you get this situation where it kicks you into...
It stops, and then it takes you into a Safari page.
Yeah.
and then you have to rotate your screen like
Well,
me.
Safari if you're on iPhone.
Safari, and then if you're on Android, Google.
Android, Google, yeah.
And then it says...
And then it brings up the blue screen of death on a web page.
But
it's not your phone.
Yeah.
It's a web page.
And then
it asks you if you want to... It basically tells you, hey, you're in 8-bits basic, his command.
Yeah.
You're within his command, and so you can go in there and actually tell him, all right, whatever. You accept whatever.
And it's called...
And it kicks you into a game.
Project Laser.
Project Laser.
And everyone was thinking, okay, yeah, that's what Project Laser... It's a nice little mini game that doesn't really matter. But apparently, it does matter. So I took screenshots of Twitter stuff. So big shout out to this man, Develop Art. Develop Art is on Twitter. He's a big part of the community. He's a concept artist for Bomber Grounds, which is a different game, not owned by Supercell, but it's a concept art. He basically knows how to do stuff, and he's been recognized in the community, and he's a big part of it. So shout out to that man. Mm-hmm. So it's Project Laser. Now, if you defeat it, I've personally, at the time of recording this, I've not beaten Project Laser, only because it's only been out. I only knew about this a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And also, I was in my first Zoom class, so I couldn't really do anything with it. So it's Project Laser. So eventually, when you finish it, it says mission accomplished ? And then it says then victory does not lead to liberation. A supermassive black hole still lives deep within the core of your cabinet. Will you ever find it? Exit game or try again. So that try again thing after a mission definitely means like, hey, you didn't find what was actually in the game, because there's a try again option. If you defeat a game, it's not gonna say try again. It's gonna go. It would say, exit the game or go back to start, and that basically means you finished it. So here you go replaying it. Basically saying try again is basically you lost or you didn't
accomplish what it is we want you to accomplish.
Yes. So if you did find that, or if you did find the black hole that they were talking about, I'll put it on the screen now so you guys can see. It has some stuff. What Develop Art tweeted was a bunch of 8-bit like being like all zen and all like ninja whatever.
Yeah.
And it's one of the screenshots he says, or one of the screenshot that Mr. Develop Art man said was, like all journeys into the soul via an ill-conceived space game based on an arcade cabinet piloting a ship while fighting militant dogs and chickens, what you learned is not the end of the story. Now, I'll talk what I think that is father, dad, Mark. Mm-hmm. Starcade Breakdown, which is the next one.
Oh, okay.
This is the game.
That's new.
It's hard to... Okay, that was a dumb lead-in. So, once you beat the Chinese... It's Slugfest. That game with the Chinese stuff was Slugfest. And let me give you a little background to Supercell. Brawl Stars was originally going to be a space game. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
The project name was Project Laser. Then Supercell afterwards, being stupid, after they were done being dumb, they decided let's make it a Wild West game and let's call it Slugfest. And then after that, they're like, okay, let's go with Brawl Stars. So here's this thing, Dad. In the Slug game, you fight the brawlers as slugs, and that's why it was called Slugfest, because you're fighting slugs.
So it's a double meaning.
Yes.
What you're saying. Okay.
And then it says, and then it went to there. After you beat that game, it gives you another thing to Starcade Breakdown.
Okay.
It says, if you accept the coin, perhaps you'll find out who you are, or maybe you will just defeat what you are. Okay, don't ever say you didn't warn you.
Okay.
Starcade Breakdown.
Ah.
And then after that, well, actually, it doesn't lead to start.
English.
I accidentally took that screenshot before I took the other one. This is the last thing it says. In doing so, you destroyed yourself. And it's a picture of 8-bit standing in front of, on the left side, a carnival Ferris wheel, and on the right side, a spaceship. And then it says, game not over, which is one of 8-bit's quotes. Now let me tell, how it goes. You ready? Watch this. Ready for this perfect 8-bit impression?
Ready.
Game not over.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's how he says it. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. Let's talk about the first thing that I took a screen, or that was in the Chinese or Japanese. I believe it's Japanese. I don't know. The Asian language. It says, like all journeys into the soul via ill-conceived space game, based on an arcade cabinet piloting a ship while fighting militant dogs and chickens, what you learned is not the end of the story. Let me tell you what I think this is about. I think this whole thing is talking about Supercell's journey with Brawl Stars. It started off with Project Laser, then it turned into Slugfest, then eventually Brawl Stars. I think what it says here, like an ill-conceived space game, that basically is telling how a game talking about lasers and chickens and fighting in the space was an ill-conceived, like how they said, a journey into an ill-conceived space game based on an arcade cabinet piloting a ship while fighting militant dogs and chickens. What you've learned is not the end of the story. That, I think the story is Supercell's work with Brawl Stars, how it went from Project Laser Slugfest to Brawl Stars. That's what it's talking about.
Ideally, what they're doing is they're telling you the story of how they came to be.
Yes, and another thing that's interesting is that the ending thing, where 8-Bit is looking in front of Carnival and a spaceship. People are saying, like in Ray's video, again, shout out to Ray, he's cool. What Ray and what the community is saying is that this could have been the past, and this is the future. How Supercell went from having this to be a space game to what is now a Carnival-esque game.
Now you want to know. Now see, this is the brilliance of who you call father.
Yes, father.
You want to.
What is?
You want
wait. One last thing.
You want to know my interpretation.
One last thing that's interesting to say. The ending of that, after you see that thing, it says game not over. What if instead of it being a stupid little winning victory pose or a winning victory saying that 8-Bit says game not over, instead of it being that, it could be talking about Supercell or Brawl Stars. The game is not over, and it's not what it is now. It's going to change. It's not going to be what it is in its current state.
We're going to go outer space.
So it's not outer space, but look at this, because if we're talking about the freaking leave. If we're talking about this, it went from spaceship to a carnival.
No.
The game's not over yet.
Okay, so this is my interpretation of that picture that you're talking about there. See, there's one or two thoughts that came into my mind when you showed me that picture.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can put it on the screen so people can see it.
Yeah.
So that's 8-Bit, and 8-Bit is so whenever they show a picture like this, I get the idea or the concept in my mind that whenever they show a picture of this, they're giving you the perspective of what this person sees. And that person is seeing one of two, or he's seeing two things. And to me, it's like they're saying they had to make a choice. They had to make a choice between a game that happens in outer space, or they had to make a choice to a game that I think you've already proven has something to do with the carnival. And in the end, their group of brains there decided, hey, you know what? We could probably do more with the carnival than we could do with outer space. Mm-hmm. Even though outer space is infinite, the properties of outer space stay the same. Mm-hmm. No gravity, planets, stars,
lasers, shooting.
But, and that could be just any other gaming system out there.
Yeah.
When you think about old games like Galaga and now how they remade it into newer games, or like there's a game called 1942 that used to be a shooter, old airplane game, and now they've restructured into something else. Mm-hmm. So it's a mobile game. So I think what Supercell was trying to avoid was the norm. Do we go with an outer space game and just kind of be like the rest? Because we just knocked it out of the park with, what was the game?
Clash of Clans.
Clash
Royale.
But we bombed with Boom Beach.
And then Rush Wars.
And then we did Rush Wars wasn't even in existence at the time.
Well, it went from Clash of Clans,
what was the
Boom
game?
Beach,
What's the farming game?
Heyday.
Okay, so we did okay with Heyday.
Great. Heyday was like a good game.
So I don't want to do just another so-so game.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do something that we can expand on. And looking at the vast world that is, your what is it called? The Google Game Center or whatever.
Stadia.
Or you're looking at all these other things where you have all these games, But how many of them actually have a circus?
Yeah, a carnival-esque game.
Carnival game.
Yeah.
And so, like, every variation, every version, every Brawl Star creature and character, everything that has to do within this entire game can be construed as carnival games.
Yeah. Mr. P being a mascot. Piper, all of them being characters that live there.
And this is what you kind of see. You see the stars and the lights. And
Mr. P being a bellhop. Mr. P being a bellhop.
So I think to
Gale
me,
being a...
it's either one of two things. It's either they are looking and saying, I had to make a choice, and we chose Carnival. Or two, the exact opposite of what they're saying and what you just said. They're saying they're looking at the past of what used to be an outer space game, and now the actual game that they came up with has to do with the Carnival situation. And I see it as the opposite.
You think it might be
they're
choosing between, and they're like, we should probably go for it. A space game.
Maybe we should start to kind of throw things around. But why would they throw in another mecha during the summer of Summer of Heroes or Summer of Monsters? Summer of Monsters. Why all of a sudden were they throwing a mecha?
True.
Because the mecha's not from the world. We don't have them in our world. We don't have them on our planet.
And if you think
about it,
have
to come from somewhere else.
The space theory does make sense again with what Sprout is. Sprout is an incubator, a robotic incubator, incubating life. Well, I like what we said.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
like what we're saying.
Those were the two things that came to my mind when you said that. Had nothing to do with, thinking about the past and what we are presently. Because a smart company, and I know Supercell is, because how many games have they created that are...
Well, they've created
success.
around 16 games, and they had to kill
I would say...
They created 16 games, and they had to kill 11. Their games... They kill games because they don't think it's worth it. They don't think it's a good game. They're not like King or PopCap or something like. They release something. Oh, it's bad. Who cares? Or Angry Birds. They release the same game just because we don't care. Rovio, you can kill your. I hate Rovio. I hate all the other mobile game companies. But that's not what we're talking about. That being said,
Supercell says we're not going to support this game. We're going to dump it. We're going to move on. And we're going to keep trying something else.
But like what we're saying...
So with a company like this, they're not looking in the past anymore. Mm-hmm. The past is gone. Because they tell you that in the fact that they dump their games. They tell you that in the fact that when they see that they're doing pretty crappy, they're just not going to support it.
With Rush Wars, that was the first game that they ever released. They had it going for a good time, and they were like, it's not good. We're just killing it off.
Yeah.
And that's how it was.
So Supercell obviously is smart enough to figure out that we don't live in the past. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I'm saying. They're looking to the future. They're looking to, okay, we've explored this carnival thing, and it's been massive. So maybe we start looking into a little bit something in the future. We introduce a few characters that make sense so that it can kind of segue into this next part 2 of Brawl Stars. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, mark my words, today's what? 8/20 of 2020. That if a year from now we're doing another podcast, if I'm still alive, and all of a sudden
in a year
we're talking about outer space because they brought in this new whole thing over the past year. Brawladays turned into Brawladays in space. It went crazy.
Brawladays in space.
You had all these wild, crazy things happening, and it all happened because 8-Bit had a virus. And all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying?
The coronavirus. My YouTube channel just got taken down with that word.
We won't get there.
We
won't go there.
But like what I said previously when I was critiquing Supercell.
Okay, but
Supercell is not the company to follow the norms.
No.
Supercell does not care. Supercell will do what they think is right, and most of the times they are right. And I honestly
because they watch our pod. They listen to our podcast.
Yes, they listen to us. That's what they're doing right. But honestly, I believe Supercell, whatever they're going to do, is going to be good. And it's going to eventually, this game is going to be one of the best games ever. Because that's just how Supercell is. Supercell perfects games.
It's like you said, as a company, they've surpassed pretty much all the other...
King, PopCap, Rovio.
Yeah.
And those are the only ones that I can think off the top of my head.
They surpassed all these other big name companies that make mobile games. So, I mean, they got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know,
they have to stand out. Supercell has to stand out. And not only because their intro is literally ear rape and it literally explodes your head if you're listening to it at max volume. Like, look, Dad, yeah, pull up our phones. Let's see who's
let's give a double dose of the old
we'll do it at the same time. We'll do it at the same time. Nope. Dad, you ruined it.
Fight for peace.
Oh, there's A-Face. But yeah, so honestly, whatever Supercell is doing, I believe that they can do it correctly. But speaking of Supercell doing stuff on their own and being able to perfect things on their own, let's talk about how Supercell doesn't know how to make skins, and they made the community make some. I'm joking. But so Supercell Make's happening, and we're gonna review some skins now.
Okay.
I'll put them up on the screen so you can watch along with us.
So
let's talk about the first one. We got Nutcracker Gale. This one is Nutcracker Gale. Let's do this one where you can see fully. He kind of looks Russian in a sort of way.
So this one is done by Sam383.
So credit to them.
And you know what? That actually, if you look at that Gale compared to the real version of Gale, it fits.
It does.
It's almost perfectly fitting him because although he does look like a Nutcracker, if you were to have one of those made, it would ideally just be a Nutcracker.
Yeah.
But if you stand him next to the real Gale, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
You cannot see a difference.
And honestly, this kind of looks
perfect.
like a. This also looks like a bellhop-esque type of gate.
It's very bellhop-esque, yeah. But you know, the only thing I think that they're kind of missing on is the colors.
Yeah.
If you're talking about holidays,
if they added in
you want to throw in a little green.
Color.
You want to give a little bit of a dark forest green in there.
Got some nuts in the back.
That's black, right? Yeah. So I mean, maybe a little bit of a theme, a color change on the theme. But I think this guy did great.
Overall, I think that was a nice.
I think that one's a home run.
We got 2 Ginger Gales.
I like
Which one? Top one, bottom one.
I like the bottom one. The top one doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Bottom one, Ginger Gale.
So Ginger Gale, this one's by who is it, Chris?
This one's created by Art3D Juanaka or Juanca.
_Juanca.
Juanca. This one looks nice.
You know,
actually.
I really like this one. If you want something to put you in the festive mood,
although I think they could do something. I think they could proportion his head a little bit better. They could make the head a little bit more skinnier. But because like right now it kind of looks like.
And honestly, the size of the cup.
Well, that's gonna be a snowblower.
I know, but the size of the cup for the blower is a little big.
Yeah, but overall, I love the idea.
But it's very cool.
I love the idea with the beard. I love the idea of like having his
the
attack,
sprinkles,
his sprinkles. It's also funny because his normal. If we zoom in on this, his normal snowblower. Actually, we have to move back. His normal snowblower has a frowny face, and this cup is also doing it with the leaves.
Yeah, so I think that one's a home run too. I think if they were to go with either one of them, it'd be great.
Well, this one is not bad. This other Ginger Gale by
honestly, I just don't like the eyes. It just doesn't.
The eyes, the peppermint eyes, don't really do it for me. But yeah, so that's that. Let's continue looking at the. Okay. Now we're gonna look at the ones these are the ones that. Okay, so the ones that we were looking at previously, these are the ones Supercell are recommending. Okay. And the ones that are getting a lot of traction. So now we're gonna look at the trash ones.
No, we're not gonna make fun of people.
So, we're gonna talk about the actual ones that look ugly. So first we got Evil Gale, which is just a void. We got Santa Gale, which is not really worth. Most of these are just Gales with weird colors. This one, Toy Gale, is interesting.
Yeah, but see, to me, that looks like Nutcracker Gale.
Well, it's like a
toy.
Look at his knees. Look he has the wood.
Look,
he's wood.
He's a Nutcracker.
He's fat.
He's a toy.
Look at this.
So that's not bad.
That's not actually.
I don't know. I think that one's actually pretty good.
Supercell has this thing where.
But you know where they miss?
Supercell would get the skin, and they have the right to revamp it and make it look even better.
But you know where they miss?
What did they miss? Hit or miss?
That train thing on their hand.
I don't think a train would have been good.
Yeah, that's kind of a miss for me.
Well, like, what do you think? Like, I was thinking like a little one of those carts that pop. And like the pop could have been like the balls could have been the ones that shoot it.
That pop, yeah.
One of the it's a vacuum. It looks like a vacuum cleaner, but it pops.
What about a pop gun?
Something like, or a pop gun.
Like if he shoots, the pop gun takes off. The little popper just
jumps.
Ice Gale.
Ice Wizard Gale is from
Scroll back up.
Ice Wizard Gale is from.
Scroll back. Who
Clash
made
Royale.
This? Who made this particular?
Well, this one is by Ramit.
By Ramit.
Ramit. So credit to them. This one looks like it's the Ice Wizard from I'd say from
Clash
something you watched. Clash-orama. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Very cool.
That's interesting. They could have done that and have it as a Supercell skin. So
the
like,
only problem is, I think what he's missing is that he doesn't have the weapon.
The weapon.
And I think that's probably why Supercell.
Well, that's what he's gonna be. You know,
that's why they yeeted that one.
So we got Pride Month Gale, which is an interesting choice.
No, it's Rainbow Gale.
No, it's Rainbow Gale, which doesn't make sense because he's a.
I mean, the rest of them are.
The rest of them are kind of just no one cared about. I want to get at least a couple more.
Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I'm not into that Santa Gale.
Not seeing that many that.
I mean, there's a few of them that are okay.
That are nice ideas, but probably not good executed.
Krampus Gale.
Krampus Gale, where's that one?
Wait, go back to the previous screen.
Oh my god!
Oh, there it is. Look, look to the left.
Whoa! Oh my god!
That is wicked.
Rustlin 103.
Click on that one. Let's look at that.
That one's crazy.
Hey, that's pretty good, man. No joke.
Crank Gale.
Wow, well,
that's not a really nice name, but. Oh,
I think the Krampus Gale.
If they made the eyes a little bit better, maybe if they only did dark out eyes, that made it look.
And
cool.
then not give him goat feet.
I think the goat feet looks
No, actually
cool.
the goat feet works.
The goat feet works.
He's got claws.
I like the beard. I think the thing that's not doing it for me are the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes.
If the eyes weren't that, then it'd look cool.
Yeah, that's a very cool Krampus Gale.
Overall, though, that Krampus Gale was cool. I would like to see more Krampus things, Krampus theme.
You know what? Belschnickel, that's what I was going to say. Do they have a Belschnickel
Well, this is
Gale?
one, but it's not really.
They need a better Belschnickel.
Ooh, not Cracker, this one.
That Belschnickel's a throwback to The Office.
The thing that would make it look good if on the back it
look
has...
at his teeth. Those teeth.
On the back,
on
the back, the teeth would work if they had it on the back. How on the back of the Nutcracker, they would handle it? Yeah. It doesn't have a handle, so it just doesn't work. The Mr. P flag is funny, though. Yeah. So that's...
But the Mr. P flag is kind of out of left field. That doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep...
Oh, what's
something... Snowball Gale? That one's funny. A thing that would look cool, though, is if they only didn't choose. If they would have Christmas traditions from other sides of the world. Like different types of holiday pagan
look at Scary
stuff.
Santa Gale there. Go down one. Go down a couple.
Where is it?
Right there, to the left.
Scary Santa.
That's a lot of red.
That's a lot of red and eyeshadow. Father Christmas Gale, it's just him with a bigger beard. So yeah, that we're going to talk about is Kragale.
So this is by...
Krampus Gale.
Let me see if I can say this right. Hugelgoth.
68. This one...
And now...
I want this
now
in
look
the game.
Go above. Go above to the above... No. Scroll back up if you don't mind.
Sorry.
So that does not give you the perspective you want to see.
That looks like a Lilo and Stitch animal.
It does. It looks like a Disney character, but if you scroll down and you look at the 3D, that looks like a Supercell.
Whoa, and he has like pins of the brawlers on his thing.
Oh, that is cool.
And then he has the spike sock, which is everywhere. And then, oh my god, honestly, I would not
I like this one.
He has the Mr. P logo on the back because, he looks for Mr. P.
Yeah,
Monsieur. Well, it's Monsieur M, technically, if we're talking about French.
Now go back up and look at, he has a chain.
God, that looks so cool.
That is a really
honestly, this skin by Hugglegoth 68, that has my vote. I'm voting for this.
That has my vote.
I'm voting for this.
I really like that one. I think that's probably...
the best one I've seen.
Honestly, I think that, I agree with you.
This is the best one I've seen. That's so good. And it's unfortunate because it's surrounded by a bunch of trash that you have to sort through to see it. But
it's not really trash.
But, it's not trash. Some people have tried. I'm talking about the ones who have tried.
Like
of course,
somebody. Like those.
These ones aren't trying.
Those are not trying.
But yeah. So guys, that's that. It's a weird topic to go from this to the next topic. WKBRL Father. Here's my theory. It's a quick little theory that I want to talk about to wrap things up. I don't think WKBRL is exactly important as how we're thinking of. No, not anymore. It is important, but not how we originally thought. Back when WKBRL happened, we thought it was going to be something big. We thought this was like the start of a web hunt or a web quest or something big. But now, seeing what's happening, I think WKBRL is not going to be something like a major web quest. WKBRL is a Easter egg hub. And what that means is that the creators, because the creators are behind WKBRL, it's official now. We know this for a fact.
Okay.
So I'm thinking at least WKBRL is going to be a place to go if you want to hear Easter eggs. And by Easter eggs, I mean, because before Piper's Sugar and Spice animation and before Barley's animation, they had music from that animation in it before it happened. Meaning that I think WKBRL isn't necessarily like a web hunt or a web quest, but rather a place to go to hear and skepticize about future updates and future things coming to the game and future animations.
Okay.
And that's what I think WKBRL is going to be.
See, I think...
And that's why they're hinting towards it so much. In two environments.
But see, for me, it's like, okay, then that to me is kind of a miss on the idea of creating this whole cinematic look to it, this is a part of the game look to it, then creating with the music, with the not music, but with the sound that they give you, and they have, like you said, Easter eggs and stuff like that. And to me, it's kind of like, it's almost like a missed opportunity, because you want your game to continue to keep traction. You want to continue to get new brawlers and new people. I mean, new people to download, because ultimately you're making money on your downloads. You're making money on what they buy.
Yeah.
So to me, it's almost like a missed opportunity, because they can use this, and all this crap that happens with the deep web and all this stuff, and a lot of times you have to click on this and it takes you to this website, and then you have to go find that Easter egg to try and send you to another place to go and pick up whatever it is that you're illegally trying to buy.
Illegally doing.
So Supercell could easily have taken that, thrown some stuff in there, make it something that you can actually go, oh wow.
What the? Okay. Well,
that is the craziest.
That is scary, but
that is a crazy.
Continue what you were saying. Sorry.
Wow,
my
look at his
God.
eyes.
Oh, what is this?
Oh.
Ew.
That is on the nightmare version of Brawl Stars.
Yeah, wow. I don't like this.
Oh wow, I hope you can show this on screen.
Oh, let me save this.
Look at all the blood on that
ew.
one.
That's disgusting.
Anyways, so it would be an opportunity they can take if they take somebody and say, hey, I need you to create like a geocache.
Yeah.
Like a geocache type of thing.
Starbucks.
But yeah, it's a place.
Oh, a geocache. I mean, yeah, I know what.
But think about it though.
Yeah.
Let's say they send you on a geocache where you have to go on your computer and you have to search out, because then all of a sudden they load you with 100 gems and whatever star points and whatever other things.
Big or skin
if
or
you
something.
Find that.
Well, because like if we're talking about geocaching and stuff like that, a Disney show at a Disney XD technically, because that's where it ended up. Gravity Falls. When it ended, it was basically the kid version of Rick and Morty. It's a really good show and all that. Well, what they did at the end of the series, because that series has so much lore and so much mystery and so much things that are still yet to be that have yet been discovered. One of the things that they did was they actually sent you out on a big hunt. Just like how Fortnite did the hamburger in the desert and all the loot llamas in the different countries. Oh, excuse me. Gravity Falls put a character from... What is that sound? We're being attacked. Anyway, Gravity Falls put out a character, one of the characters from the show, Bill Cipher, out in the forest with his hand out shaken, because shaking his hand is how he gets inside you and how he possesses you. Mm-hmm. So they I don't know, maybe they could have, maybe this is just a theory, they could have have big plans for WKBRL.
And maybe they're just kind of waiting it out because they couldn't get whatever it is that they wanted to do. Sorry, let me come back up. I apologize, I was leaning back and Chris said he couldn't hear me.
Well, I had to, yeah.
and so to me, maybe what's happening is they're going to wait on it, because let's say, they were trying to get this stuff done before the summer of love that they just put out.
Yeah.
The summer of monsters or whatever the hell.
Summer of robots.
Robots and monsters or whatever. Anyways, so let's say that they said, well, we just don't have time to follow up on the WKBRL, so let's save that. Let's
put it on the back burner, like I said.
Let's make a WKBRL push for the
future updates.
For the future update, whenever they come back, which is in a month or so.
And with everything we've talked about, Supercell is definitely going places with the little 8-bit mini games and WKBRL and the failure of this newest update.
Because like this Brawl Days thing, maybe they can tie that in with the WKBRL, where we're talking about doing a geocache thing.
Yeah.
And if they geocache, you go and you run across whatever, and you find whatever website, and all of a sudden, it gives you a code that you can go and plug into Supercell, or your not Supercell, but in your game, and then you get all this loot. Or get a great loot gift,
or that, or skin,
What is the big thing that you open up there to get these things? Boxes.
Brawlers. Oh, boxes.
Boxes. You open up boxes to get any of the stuff that
or
you
what
do
if
end up
what
getting.
if that geocache was an actual mega box, something that you would open and actually find something?
Well, I'm talking about online or on,
Dad, why did you say geocache then? If you're talking about online,
because it's the concept of geocaching, but
also if you don't know what geocaching is, it's basically geocache is like is actually finding stuff in real life that result in other bigger stuff on the internet. So for example, this is not a good example, but in Anchorage they have this thing called Anchorage Rocks, where people paint, put it out in the world, people find it, take a picture. If you can't take a picture, send it to them, and then hide it, and then it's just a continuous thing. Yeah, so it's just like.
But what geocachers do is they'll find whatever this geocache is, which is usually just like a little tin or a small box or something.
Yeah.
And they leave something in there.
Yeah.
And then they will post on there what the geocache is, and another geocacher sees it, and actually, they'll either go hike to go and get there, or they'll do this to get there, drive to go there, or whatever. They find the geocache, and they could raid it and clear it completely of stuff and leave it, or they can put $100 bill in there, or they can take this, put something back, whatever the hell it is. Anyways, that's basically what geocachers do. So when I said geocachers, it's the concept of geocaching.
Yeah,
not so much that you get, but you have to find the website they're talking about for WKBRL.
Yeah, but that would be cool. But so overall, Dad, it's good. I probably forgot to. I forgot to mention this. What would you rate this whole update? And by whole update, I mean everything, including Project Laser, and everything including the Supercell Make, and everything we've talked about. What would you rate this whole experience as?
Well, I mean, if you're going it's hard to say like a 1 to 10 thing, because I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. A 1 in 100.
No, I mean, but if you're saying, okay, well, the best that they could possibly do is great, and the worst they could possibly do is crap, I would say that they're right up there, fairly close to really, really good, I think, because there's a lot that they're doing with it. There's good concept in there, but I think that they missed in a couple things. Yeah. One, they missed in putting out Surge.
They messed up with the actual update to the game.
Time.
Yeah.
That
was a really
it was just one. It was odd. And then the WKBRL thing just hit this massive following of people really getting into it. Yeah. And then it just died out.
That channel who live streamed the channel that is live streaming had 160,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
recently.
I remember there was several thousand
there
people
listening. There used to be 10,000 people. Now if we let's just do a little take a little look. WKBRL. I don't know how to type. And then we scroll down. Oh frick! I need to do live stream. Live stream. I'm good at talking.
Live stream.
And then we scroll over to here. And then we go here. So let's take a quick little gander at how well this is doing. 77 people are watching. So
and nothing's changed on it. It's all looking exactly the same.
Wait, can you hear it or no? Because
I hear it.
Yeah, you hear it?
I hear it off the TV.
I didn't mean to have it like that. But yeah, so it's basically not doing too hot. I think maybe they're putting this on the back burner, or what I said, it might just be a little place to go to hear little Easter eggs every now and then. So overall, I think this whole experience was good. I think what they're doing in the game, how they're making it more lore to it, I think it's a good thing. So overall, I'd say out of 10, I know it's hard to rate it, out of 10, a good solid 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, this is going to be the end of the Brawlcast, episode 5. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Dad, for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, punch that like button, and I'll see you all in the next episode of the Brawlcast.
And if